Do you actually need to book your Virgin Voyages sailing with a travel agent? Why or why not? And aren't you paying an additional fee to be able to do that anyway? These are the things that I had misperceptions about. So in today's podcast episode, we are talking about why it does make sense to book with a travel agent and also what benefits you get, as well as a top question around should you be booking on board or should you get an even better deal by not booking on board coming up.
Ahoy, I'm Christine Lozada.
And I'm JC, top Virgin Voyages travel agent. Welcome to the podcast.
This is the Virgin Voyages Tips Podcast, an insider guide to navigating Virgin Voyages like a pro. Find it on every podcasting platform, on YouTube, and check the show notes for additional helpful info.
And how I can get you a great deal.
Let's dive in.
Ahoy from Valiant Lady. We are at Key West today, and I'm here with JC, aka Jason Carter, top 100 Virgin Voyages travel agent. Congrats on your top 100
Thank
for
you
the
very much.
second year in a row.
Thank you very much.
And this is a top question that I wondered about. When should you book? Should it be direct? Should it be on the ship? Should it be with a travel agent? This is what we're talking about in today's podcast episode. All right, let's first start with honestly one of the most important things, which is price.
Yes.
Isn't it a different price to book with a travel agent? Aren't we adding some kind of additional fees on top of the normal amount?
It is not. The fee, the travel agents make money off a commission, right? That commission is built into the cruise price, whether you book direct or not.
That's actually a really interesting point, because what that means is if you go book direct, you're actually paying for the service of a travel agent, except you're not receiving that service because you booked direct. That's the opposite of what I thought would be the case, because as a DIY kind of traveler, I always thought I could get the best bottom price deal by always booking direct. But what you're saying here is that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, that's correct.
And so when it comes to price though, like how are you making sure that someone is getting the best price?
So it's me talking to them and figuring out which sailing they're looking for. Most people that come to me, they already know which sailing they're looking for. So when they come to me with that, they want their room type. Is it an insider? Is it a sea view? Is it a terrace rockstar? I look at that and then I look at what offers there are available for those rooms and make sure they get the best offer.
Yeah, and a lot of people ask me that question. How should I come and book, and what's the process? It's actually very simple, and I'm going to walk you through that in the next podcast episode, but at a high level, because we talk about this in a separate video about how Virgin Voyages, their pricing, the same exact sailing, can have a totally different price on two different dates just based off of how sold out it is.
Correct. Yeah.
Which is actually exactly the same as airlines, right?
Yeah.
Airline prices kind of go up and down.
Yeah.
You watch them over time through Google Flights. Virgin Voyages is really no different.
Yeah.
And so being a smart traveler, looking ahead, seeing what you want, seeing what those outline prices are, because there's only so many dates people are available, and then coming to JC to be able to price compare it.
Yeah, and knowing when the offers are going to end, when new ones are going to start, that's key as well. Virgin Voyages does a great job of letting us know when those things are going to occur. So it might be beneficial that I have you wait a week.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, because for us on the traveler side, we're subscribing to their emails. We are watching their social media, but we're getting the news when the news is out and everybody knows, and then everybody starts booking.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas you're getting that info in advance, and you can keep an eye out for people.
Correct.
Especially if there's things coming down the pike.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Love that on price. The next thing is that one of the things that I always brag about with you is your response time. Like when people are like, well, I want to know what the price is. Because when you go on the website, you know immediately. You push a couple buttons and you know. Yeah. And they expect you to take weeks to respond.
Yeah.
What's your response to that?
It's literally hours with me. I stay connected hard. My family hates it, but I stay connected pretty hard to make sure I'm pretty responsive. If there's a problem, I'm there to jump on it. If there's a request, it's easy to get a hold of me. You could text me, you could call me, you could email me.
That's the other thing that I love, because like my mom, for example, she doesn't really want to send you an email, and my mom can text, but she has like the big, enlarged text.
Yeah.
She doesn't like to send text messages that much, so she will call. And so literally in any way you are available and responding within hours.
And I had a client yesterday. They became my client after they spoke with Virgin, but they held for 2 hours to make a change. All you have to do is email, text, call, in literally 30 seconds, and that change is going to be done fairly quickly. You don't need to worry about it.
So that's the other thing too, is that you get a level of service like in getting help when you need help from Virgin Voyages, that me as a sailor, I can get that same help, but it will just take way longer.
Yes.
And so being able to just have a lifeline to be like, help me with this or help me with that is really nice. The majority of people go on vacation, have a perfect time, but sometimes there's hiccups on board.
Yeah.
And we are here to help.
Yeah,
even on this sailing, for example, as soon as I got on board, actually, if you're watching this podcast, you'll see me walking on, saying hello to the Happenings cast, and then literally sprinting to get help from Sailor Services set up at Razzle Dazzle with some of our sailors' reservations, because we are on it, literally on it, to make sure that people are being helped if something comes up.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you stay tuned till the end, we will tell you quite a story of something that recently happened, that JC was called in an event of a potential emergency.
Yes.
And so we'll save that story for the end. But this next part is something that people ask me all the time. You're on board, you're so excited, you're having the best vacation, you want more. I mean, who really sails Virgin Voyages once? You want to come back, you want to book the next one. And people always ask me, Christine, should I buy MNVV, my next Virgin Voyages? In other words, should you book your sailing while you're on board, or should you be waiting for later or booking it through a travel agent, or what should I do in this situation? What's your reaction?
It really depends on the sailing that you're looking at. It's always a good idea to reach out to me and price it out with me, because I have offers that could be better than what they're offering on board. There might be other discounts available to you that are not available with the MNVV.
Yeah.
So I always tell people to reach out to me. Let's talk through it. Let's look at what trip you're looking at. And if you don't know what trip you're looking at, it's okay, because I can get you that MNVV when you're ready.
That's actually key. So if you're like, wait a minute, so what if I don't know the sailing, but what if it's going to expire? Basically, that offer is available to you even after you've left the ship.
That's correct. Yeah, I had a client yesterday. They did not book with me. They had an MNVV. They booked it, watched your channel, reached out to me, and I found them a better deal that was not part of the MNVV. And so they canceled that booking, and they got their $300 back from buying the MNVV, and then they booked with me using an entirely different deal and got a better deal.
You know, I love this story, and I also know that if we just talked through 50 examples, we could probably make this pod. Actually, it wouldn't even be 50 examples. It'd be like thousands of examples.
Oh, yeah.
I recommend coming and joining us in the Facebook group. You can hear from all of these people. They're in there.
They are.
And they'll share their stories with you. I mean, we ain't making it up. So that is a top thing that people ask. All right, are you ready for this story?
Oh, yeah.
I was on this sailing. This was a very fun sailing. It was around the Caribbean. There's actually a video on it on my channel. I reviewed that sailing. But we had a really fun group of sailors that had booked through us, and they were doing a shore excursion. What was the shore excursion, but how did they book that shore excursion?
So it was scuba diving, but they booked it outside of shore things. So they went on their own and booked it.
And they're smart travelers.
Yeah.
And so, I honestly felt like, all right, okay, not everyone's a smart traveler, but I'm like, oh, they're going to be totally fine. And I mean, I love scuba diving. I've gone scuba diving outside of the shore thing.
Yeah.
But something very unexpected happened, which is what?
So the boat ran out of gas that they were on. So literally, the passenger that booked with me, her boyfriend was out there. She stayed on board because she wasn't feeling well, and she called me in a panic. And she's like, I'm sitting on my balcony looking at them, and they are out of gas, and they have no way to get back to the boat. I don't know what to do.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
They were literally stranded in view of the ship.
Yeah.
And had no gas. But it wasn't just her boyfriend. It was everyone she was sailing with. She was the only one that was still on board.
Yeah.
How were you able to help?
She reached out in a panic. And this was 6 p.m. Eastern. So it was already dark out because this was a December 6th sailing. And you guys were in where were you?
We were somewhere in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah. And I made some phone calls and some things started to happen about 30 minutes later, and she was texting me saying, all right, they're getting them.
Yes.
Virgin got involved.
Yes.
So that was very helpful.
Like it just in these moments where, and I know, and I hope this won't happen to you, but having that kind of support while you're on the ship, that you have a lifeline, quite literally.
Yeah.
But one thing I really loved, because I had the opportunity to interview this sailor about their experience, so I want you to take a listen to that one.
I am currently looking at seahorses right now, but there is a story I am so curious to hear about because it's one that I've never heard before. I am here with somebody who has sailed before. What's your name?
I'm Scott Miller.
And Scott Miller, how many sailings have you done with Virgin?
This is my second.
And he went somewhere yesterday and luckily came back. Tell us, where were you?
On a boat in Barbados.
And when he was on this boat in Barbados, he actually got to explore the middle of the ocean. And what happened?
We ran out of gas. We could see the boat, and we were stuck for 2 hours with no gas.
Stuck for 2 hours with no gas, but some phone calls were made to the Coast Guard.
Yes, between the harbor master, the captain, our captain, there was a lot going on.
Okay, wait. So we're getting really close to the time that the ship is about to leave the port. What's one word that you would describe for how you were feeling at that moment?
I was totally enjoying it because I was not in control.
That right there is exactly why I love Virgin Voyages. It draws badass people like you. Did you have a good dive?
I didn't dive, I snorkeled.
Still, did you have a good snorkel?
I was on a boat that I wasn't in control of, so I didn't have to do anything or worry about anything. And my lovely girlfriend was the one on the boat worrying about us. So I knew we were in good hands.
Fine, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for sharing the story.
You can't buy that excursion. You can't buy it.
Wait, if you did get stuck, what fabulous experience would you have had in Barbados?
Probably more curry and rice. Like, seriously, more curry and rice.
Hell yeah, more curry and rice. That's all we got. This has been another episode of Virgin Voyages Tips Podcast. If it was helpful, please share it with somebody. And we want you to book your sailing with us. We'd love to help you set sail because we're here for you every step of the way. A reminder to check the show notes. Things on Virgin Voyages changes all the time, and you'll find more helpful links and resources in the description. We'll see you in the next episode. Actually, you have to share what one of the top things people say to you is like, is this actually Jason?
Yeah,
you actually get that a lot.
Yeah, they do. Is this really JC I'm talking to? I'm like, yes, this is really me. You're the one in the videos? Yes.